Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Breakfast Daily, and now it's time for us to get into our communities and check out what is happening. So today, it's all about flooding. There are a lot of flooding stories from different parts of the country, but we are going all the way to Volta region right now, where two farming communities in the Volta region are actually on the verge of being cut off from the rest of the region. Let's take a look at this report, and when we come back, we will be talking about it, and we'll try to get the right people to talk to and know exactly what is happening and what is going to be done about this issue. Enjoy.
Mafipeda and Abutiafupo, two communities in the Central Town and Whole West districts respectively, are home to approximately 3,000 people. What used to be a 15-minute journey from Mafi-Kumasi Junction to these communities now takes between 45 minutes and an hour, depending on the vehicle and the road conditions. For the residents, most of whom are peasant farmers, transporting their farm produce to the market becomes an arduous task, especially when using a taxi. Cars often get stuck in the mud created on the terrible road, extending the journey time to over an hour. This has a detrimental impact on the desired outcomes of their harvest.
Me mai koji me va shigi ma wa mon veve ka po mete dadi do mo koji ka wo donu eta mo nu fo me government na jagbagba na wo mo nemi ami apo fufu
amonya ko nya ku kele nyeji nemi wonu ku nemi va ro to wonu la e se la yo nemi cho gale ha gale la nemi nya to che aromi la jani gale la doshi amo la choka amo la choble nemi va ro gia enye ku ke gaele nyeji.
In addition to the horrific road conditions, another challenge faced by the communities is crossing the two rivers that lie on their route to Mafipeda and Abutiafupo. The condition of the road has also negatively affected academic activities and access to electricity in the communities. At Abutiafupo Community Primary School, pupils are forced to relocate to Mafi-Kumasi due to the lack of adequate teaching materials and teachers. Some pupils and teachers in interviews with Citi News expressed concerns that their school is falling behind and may struggle to compete with other schools in the district. They urgently request attention and support to enhance academic progress.
I'm here for 17 years now, and there are things we don't have or we lack in Abutiafupo DA Primary School. First, for the furniture aspect, we have some few desks, and that one too, we are managing it, and teaching learning materials, syllabus and textbook. For that one, we don't have any. So the teacher himself, they are using their pocket money to buy those materials. Due to that, some of the subjects, even we are not teaching them because of the material. We don't have them. Even we don't have computer, we don't have the textbook too. And it's a challenge for we, the teachers here, and the students too. Even some of them didn't see this thing, computer before. But in examination time, it's a subject, so a teacher, you have to give that question to them, or in examination time, they are writing it. In fact, it's a problem. Due to that, our population is going low. The population is coming down because parents also are reporting that because they know that in this Ghana, this modern Ghana, IT is at everywhere. So as their children are not doing it, That is why they have been taking their children to other schools.
The posting has been difficult for some people who are not communicant, or let's say are not tongue relative, because of the nature of the school and the nature of the town. So once they are posted, once they come here, when they see the place, they don't feel for it, and sometimes some of them they take release or they take transfer and leave. So we, the few ones that are here, we are trying our possible best. Because of that, the school is from KG to Basic 6. When we get to Basic 6 and the student have to go to GHS. Since GHS, we don't usually have GHS. Some of them, once they complete class 6 from here, some of them, they don't continue again. They stop the school and they are in town. Those parents that have the means to at least cater for their wards, they send them to Mafikumase, which is under Central Town, for them to continue their education. Imagine the distance. They work every Friday. They come here to come and get food stuff before going there. That's a challenge. So I think if you can get a standard GHS here, those who are from far away too, they can come and join Abutiaboko School, so that at least we can train the future leaders today.
Azuma Azaglo, the headman of the community, shares the challenges faced by the community in an interview with Citi News.
School miesi, like Bangalo male school tinemiu. No teacher la, enye afugwek bana. Kan mi gaba yimbe electricity a mo ko venemiu ba ka pepe. Gaka mo ko transformer va daleji agbobina na jomiu. Mai hebe teacher la no gbo over China Mafikumasi kape ano squava ne chi jakwa mo la tenu azomo avagi e echeyo enye afudede nemi manti emi pela be ejibina wo mo nemi anami bridge le etoji kuhimola unye kuhile afudede nemi onyanu o da agbeha die na ko ndo atui akoya simeha ezo agba agbliye choli nye gapo monu tomatoes fertilement gakala jebin mala menyen kekenyi nu dedo ma o ko evale efude evono ro di echi do ha die na wakwa tuila evazu agba.
Jonas Aibedi, the assembly member for the Abuja Agove electoral area, emphasizes in a Citi News interview that the community has endured these difficulties for a long time and requires government intervention to alleviate the plight of its residents.
I can tell you frankly that the people here are mostly farmers, and they involve themselves in that sort of cassava farming, maize farming, and other things. And the major challenges that people are facing during the rainy season and a lot like that, during rainy season, they find it difficult to convey their farm produce to the market, because there are two rivers over here. When they were flooded, there's nothing you can do to cross it, because it's found in abundance. So I can tell you that the population of the community over here, Bupo and Preda, approximately I may say they are over 1,000. And sometimes whenever pregnant women at the time to deliver their child, they find it difficult, and they're in labor, they find it difficult. So most of them even lost their life by finding it difficult to cross the river during that time. So that is the challenge we are facing here. We want the government to intervene to this matter so that the people also will have a comfortable life as a human being.
All right, so that was the report that we just got from the Volta region. And looking at this report, I think there are so many strings of problems. It's not just about the roads, but I guess it's affecting the education system. I mean, the educational system. The teachers can't cross and teach the students and all that. So yeah, but we have Desmond, our correspondent Desmond on the line, who will be able to tell us more. Hello, Desmond.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Please, could you elaborate more on the issue going on at the Volta region now?
Okay. So the report I made yesterday, or the report shown yesterday, was about two communities in two different districts, the Central Song District and the Whole West District. But these communities are linking communities to each of the districts. You can pass through Abutiafuko in the Whole West District and get to the Central Song District, and also from the Mapti Feda, which is in the Central Song District, to Abutiafuko and other communities in the Whole West District. Unfortunately for this people or residents in these two districts, the challenge of accessing roads or accessing other communities has become a challenge for them because of the bad nature of their roads. A journey of about 15 to 30 minutes now takes more than an hour to get to these two communities when you pass through Mafi-Kumasi Junction.
Right.
The road after Mafi-Kumasi Junction is very, very bad, not tarred, and also anytime it rains, the road gets flooded as a result of animals passing through, cars passing through, and when I say cars, I mean big cars because it's a farming area.
Right.
So residents transport their farm produce from the community to bigger markets like the Mafi-Kumasi market, the Sugakofe market, the Adjuma market, the Bala market, and also Ho market.
Right.
So when these big cars come, even when we were going for the report, we saw some big cars stuck on the way because they were not able to cross some of the smaller rivers on the road. Also, there are two major rivers on the same road. You cross one before getting to Abutiakuko, and you cross another one before getting to Mafifeda. All this is making accessibility to these communities very, very terrible for the residents. They are not able to go and they are not able to come when the rivers get flooded.
Right. Okay, but what measures have been taken so far?
So for the community members, they are deprived. They are seasoned farmers, I should say. So they don't have any means to put any intervention to help themselves. So they are only calling on government and benevolent people to come to their aid to either construct the road for them, one, or to put a bridge on the two rivers for them to make crossing easier for them. Because most of the times when pregnant women are going to the hospital, they have to be carried. Sick people are going to the hospital, they have to be carried. And also school children, now, some don't even stay in the community. They have to relocate to Mafi-Kumasi, which is the closest, a little bigger city close to them. So they have to go to Mafi-Kumasi. When it's Friday after school, they close and they all go back to their villages. And on Monday morning, they go again to Mafi-Kumasi. So it is making education as well difficult for the children in the community.
Desmond, just to give us a little bit of context, how close are these communities to the nearest big town?
Okay, so from Mafi-Kumasi, which is the closest, to Abutia, Vuko, and Mafifeda should be between 30 minutes or 15 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on the vehicle, what it's using. But now, due to the poor nature of the road, coupled with the flooding of the rivers, it is now about even more than an hour to get to these communities. Okay.
Now, the roads we are talking about, have they ever seen any tarring?
No. Since so the headman of the community spoke to me and noted that since he was a kid, the road has been the same, and even it's now getting better. According to him, it is now even getting better. And the communities too don't have electricity. They recently they brought the poles and the cables. They were all fixed, but for over 5 years now, they've not installed transformers on or at where it's supposed to be installed for power to be generated to the community. So according to them, this is all making life unbearable for them in the community.
I see. And as far as the district and municipality, they fall under what? Ho West municipality?
So Abutia Vuko falls under Ho West district, while Mafifeda falls under Central Town district. Okay. And have you had any conversations with any of the leadership within the district to find out if there are plans afoot? Are they lobbying? Are they talking to people? Is there any way we can get some kind of intervention for the people soon? Okay, so according to the assembly member, they've made several appeals to the Central Town district as well as the who went to it, but they are yet to get results out of it. I also tried calling the MP, one of the MPs, to see what they are doing for the community, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get to him. So for now, I can't really say the community has spoken to any assembly any of the DCs of the 2 districts, and I can't say what stage they have reached if they have contacted the 2 district assembly. District assemblies. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to understand the infrastructure, or should I say the layout of the area, and trying to figure out what it is that has happened in the times past. Now, 2 communities. A river has overflown its banks, and it's eroding away the road that connected the 2. Is that accurate?
No, please. So just like how we have rivers passing on a road where bridges are constructed, it's the same as that place as well.
Okay.
The river flows through the road. So they pass inside or through the river.
I see. So there's actually no road that has been constructed there. So it's really like a pathway that has slowly developed in some kind of like a bigger pathway, as it were.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So really, what they need is for a road to be built to connect the two communities. I see.
Yes.
I see. All right. Chris, you wanted to ask?
No, I just wanted to ask him if there were alternative routes, but obviously he has answered that.
Are there alternative routes?
There's one alternative route which links from Abuja 30 area towards Abuja Fuko. But unfortunately, that also is very bad. So and also you can pass through there to other communities linking North Tongue district.
Right.
But all these roads are bad. So even if you are going to pass through Abuja 30 area to Abuja Fuko, you will even spend more time than using from Mafi Kumasi, which is somehow shorter for them. So most cars pass through the Mafi Kumasi area through Mafi Feda to Abuja Fuko before continuing to other areas.
Yeah. Now, you said these are farming communities. What sort of things do they farm?
Okay. So for Central Tongue especially, they are mostly into cassava farming, where we get Gary. So in the Volta region, when one wants Gary, they mostly go to Central Tongue to get the Gary there. They are also into rice farming sometimes, and also okra farming.
Okay. Now, I'm looking at the challenge that they are facing at the moment. It must also disrupt a lot of other developmental things for them as a people, really.
Exactly.
Now, the teachers that are in the community, as far as the schools and the one we're looking at is concerned, how much of a challenge is this? Are they from the community, resident in the community, or do they have to travel back and forth?
Okay, so we have 2 teachers who are stationed in the community. Fortunately for these teachers, they are residents of the area or the community, those very communities. They hail from those communities, so it will be difficult for them to leave the community and go and stay in Mafi Kumasi and come there.
Yeah.
So to have some sympathy for the people, they adjust to them. But other teachers now travel from Mafi Kumasi and other communities who are not affected into the community. So it is making academic work very difficult for them. I was speaking to some of the students or pupils who told me that anytime it rains and the rivers get flooded, they don't have teachers who come to teach them. So apparently classes is over. They don't go to school on those days. Also, the teachers told me that they needed bungalows in the area or in the community to be able to be stationed in the communities where they may not be able to go to Mafi Kumasi on a daily basis and come.
Desmond, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate this report. It's a very important report for us to take a look at because, you know, Chris, again, it comes back to the conversation about developing the entire country.
Sure.
Right? These people probably are not first generation people within the community. These are maybe second, third, fourth generation people living in this community. So really it's about development reaching them. Do you see?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you find that people have made a move and a choice to go and stay somewhere where it's not developed yet. That's different, right? But in this case, it looks like people who have actually lived here generation after generation, right? And so their development must come to them.
Come to them, yeah.
Right, and it looks as if somehow in all our developmental agendas around the country, it hasn't yet reached them. And so this is why they're going through. I'm just, you saw some of the footage there. There's no road in the community, so it's even wrong probably to say that the road is being cut off. No, it's like the access route.
There are no access route basically.
The place they pass, because you see, a road is actually a constructed, engineered something. There's nothing that has been engineered there, so there's no road, right? It's an access route. It's a place where people pass. Maybe probably a small path that has grown over time to become a bigger path, and then cars can use it and all of that. But really, I mean, for us to have communities in places where there's no access route that is motorable, it's a difficult thing,
Yeah.
And there's schools there.
And not just that, no electricity.
There's no electricity.
No electricity.
That's difficult.
That's so difficult.
Because you just think about
no roads.
No roads, no electricity.
No electricity. Schools are affected.
If there's no electricity, I'm wondering about water.
They have the river.
Yeah, but that's difficult.
That's the river that is overflowing.
Anyway, we have a teacher from the community, Eric Destiny, joining us on the line. Mr. Destiny, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Welcome.
Now, talk to us about life in the community as a teacher. Which of the communities are you based in, and what's life like in the community?
All right, very much. And Abukiafupu and the West District. But where I think there is no source of power to that. And during this evening season, the people of Mafifreda, they find it difficult to go to market. Even vehicles cannot even come to the town. I am talking to you now. My wife is seriously getting sick. But because of how the water has,
Eric, we are having challenges with your line. If you can position yourself well, we're having difficult. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
My woman is in the room who is very sick. Yesterday, last night, I wanted to carry her to hospital, but because of how the water has flooded, we cannot even carry her to the hospital. Motors cannot even cross, cars cannot even come to the place.
Wow.
They are finding it difficult, and most of my teachers that live in town during this season, they find it difficult to come to school, and this is really affecting academics.
Yeah.
The people here, they are peasant farmers. Sometimes when they are crops or their food stocks are ready, they find it difficult to convey it to the market. This is really affecting the people of Mafifreda and Abukiafupu.
Yeah, and so as far as how long have you been in the community, by the way?
I've been almost 5 years now.
5 years, and it's always been like this?
It's always been like this. This one is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Sometimes 2 weeks you don't get access to market. So if you don't stock food down in your home or in your various houses, you have to serve, because until they go to market before people can buy from those retailers.
I see. Now, when you came into the community and you discovered that this is how things are and it happens every year, did you not want to leave, and why are you still there?
Yes, I even planned to take release long time, but because of how the place is, they find it difficult when they want to take release. Granting release has become difficult because most teachers doesn't want to come to this rural area. So most of the teachers are having left before we were even posted to this place.
I see. All right. And do you have any idea if the leadership in the community, as in the districts, assembly, or any part of your the leadership structure within the Volta region is looking to do anything to help the situation there?
Well, on the latest information I've gathered is that information or consultations have been done concerning how this bridge can be constructed.
Okay.
Let's say the DC of West and the DC of Central Song. Every day it's a story, but on reality, they are not coming for us to see whether what they are telling us is true. It's just promise, they are promising us. As I'm talking to you now, today is Monday. Students who even came for vacation or weekends, they wanted to go back to the town.
Yeah.
Come and see how they are suffering here, crossing the water before they can go to school. You see, this is really affecting. We just need a bridge. A bridge will come problem. We don't need anything. We just need a bridge. That's all we want.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Eric. We've been speaking with Eric Destiny Nomenyo, who is a teacher in the school there in Abutia Vopo, in the whole West district. It's a difficult situation that they find themselves in.
And it was actually quite sad hearing that, you know, his woman is sick or his wife is sick. And he can't even take her to the hospital because of the way the roads are bad. So I don't know. It's sad.
No, so I think that we need to look at all these things, and especially when we highlight them like this.
And he's been there for 5 years.
Yes.
So that means it's not today that it started.
And no, you see, and the thing also is that he came to meet the problem.
True.
And it's a problem that's cyclical. So it goes every year. Maybe I'm sure it's like the rainy seasons when the rivers swell up. You know, then it just floods, which means they're probably also in low-lying areas as well. You know, but the option is you leave, and if you leave, what happens to the students there?
True.
So he is probably staying because he's thinking about his predecessors who left and left the students stranded, right? So then he probably feels more passionate about his work and the students, and so has decided to sort of hang on and tough it out. Hopefully, like he says, a bridge will be built, and a bridge. Now, I'm not sure if that's maybe like the immediate solution, but it might be, you know, as he's saying.
Well, even if it's the immediate solution, how long will it take? That's what we are supposed to be.
Well, there are different kinds of bridges. So
it's
not every bridge that will take a long time to do you see. So I think that at the end of the day, really, it's more about the district leadership, the regional leadership, looking at it and say, listen, this intervention will take care of them. And I think that there are different terms that we can look at. So we can look at a short term, a quick one that will give them immediate relief, and then we can look at other longer term solutions, including building a full road system in there for them as well. All right, we've been joined by the Assemblyman of Abutia Vopo electoral area, Jonas Ali Tegi. Jonas, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much for sending me into this program.
Yes, now talk to us as a member of the Assembly. What are some of the things that the Assembly is thinking about in terms of bringing solution to your community as this problem seems to repeat itself every year?
Thank you very much for joining me. Please, in the first place, I want to make some correction of the electoral area you have mentioned.
Okay, go ahead.
The electoral area is Abutia Agove electoral area.
Okay.
It's not Abutia Pupu electoral area, it's Abutia Agove.
Agove, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, first of all, I want to give all listeners into this program. As an assembly member for the area, before I come to assembly for them, we have been experiencing some challenges, some problems encountered in the area. And we try every possible means to send those problems to the assembly for intervention, but all through futile. So before I come to assembly 2019 to 2020, I bring some challenges to the assembly election and the DC for the assembly. Honorable Ernest Victor Apau. And I can assure you that two of the problems have been started and not yet completed. Those programs are our rural education project has begun and not yet completed. Having an intervention with the people, they inform me that the end of completion of the project mainly due to the shortage of the materials needed for the project. So the director on the program of the project informed me that very soon he will go to Accra to bring all those materials for the completion of the project. And I have faced some 4 problems I can mention to you now. And one also is our road network.
Okay.
The road leading from our little area to the nearest market and hospitals is not an access road. So in the rain season, the communities all around suffered a lot of problems before getting to the market for their day-to-day businesses. So there is a drainage on the way. Whenever it's flooded, it's very difficult to pass through to the market. And I draw the attention to the DC so that we can make some bridge on those rivers, those drainages, so that the people must also have access to the nearest market and hospitals whenever they are in. Last 2 months ago, a lady who was pregnant tried to deliver the child. And at the critical condition, they carried her on head to the river that I'm mentioning on. So because of the how the river was full, they found it difficult to cross the river, and the woman died together with the child. So as I'm speaking to you now, if you go to Adomuche, you find them. The baby was lying on the mother. I don't know what at this moment. So last time I tried to intervene with some people so that we can get the media people to come and have an eyewitness to what we've been talking of. So we came and we have a footage of the business that we've been talking of. So they negotiated with me, and I had a town hall meeting with the chief around the area. So there are 17 communities under Agove electoral area. And I can assure you that it's only Agove alone who have some beneficiaries of the assembly, this assembly. So the 15 of them have no benefits from the assembly at all. Whenever the women speak to, or everybody is in the area, the nearest hospital is Adumas Hospital. They find it difficult because the road network is a problem. So most of them dead, lamentably concern the inability of the road in the area. So an assemblyman, I had a meeting with the executive executive in my area here concerning those matters. So he promised that as far as he's presented as a DC for the area, we will make every possible means to find out that every problem that has been listed to him, some of them will be tackled. If not end before he send out, most of them will be tackled. So I'm also looking forward to hear something from him next week. So as we are speaking to you now, we face some challenges. Most of them, especially Agotive, Abetapo, Bupo, Jordi, Postime, Ajimakofe, Bumekofe, those big communities at the electoral area, they are suffering too much. They are suffering so that you cannot even identify their suffering. They are here not like a human being because nothing from the government has been put before in jail. They are not benefiting from the government at all. Meanwhile, there is a national program like election and all those public housing programs. They come to the area and they participated in those programs. But after that, whenever election is gone, no one can come to the area and verify that what are the problems listed over here so that they can make a solution for them. They say for the next 4 years too, whenever they voted for the MP and president, they never come to them again. So, in fact, the people promise that if those problems are listed before the authorities are not solved, 2024 election, they are not going to take part in it because they cannot cook for anybody to eat without them enjoying the food. So they are not going to put themselves in the election on 2024 again. So this is what are the problems encountered in the area. I cannot mention all of them, but the major one I can assure you that is road network, electricity, clinics, and the bridge I'm talking of. So if those problems are detected, I will say the communities over here can also have a grateful life in order to face the network.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Really appreciate your time, Jonas, for throwing light on the different challenges that they're going through in Abutia Agove electoral area. Just Jonas Ali Tegi, who's the assemblyman for that electoral area. And yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and you can actually hear from his voice that
like
I'm now here. We need to make this happen. I'm trying, but see, people are not helping me.
Yeah.
And really, I understand the frustration of the people when they say, "Look, if you don't fix our side, we are not going to partake in the elections," because these are the reasons that we elect people.
Yeah.
To help us with our problems. Maybe not take it all completely, but some relief.
And it doesn't really help when you have politicians on the road when they're doing their campaigns, making all kinds of fantastic promises. And then it's like after election.
That's it. It's over.
It's done.
And it's like even what he said about the woman that died. May her soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
It's just so pathetic
it's
to
heartbreaking,
hear.
really.
And I'm also asking myself, so how many hospitals do we even have in that area?
Yeah.
Basically, they have to travel to hospitals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are so many strings to this problem, like we talked about in the beginning, and I just wish someone comes to their aid.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I mean, for the leaders in the community, the DCE, the MP, those who oversee the Central Tong district, the whole West district, and the region, this is really something that you need to be looking at to make sure that there's no one in your community, in the district or the region, that is living the kind of life that they are doing there. Of course, we also know, we are not naive about it, that development is a process and it takes time to get to every place. But I think that there's some of the things are more of a priority, than others. So it's important for us to make these happen and make these happen as soon as possible. Yeah. Anyway, we'll try to raise the DC on the line so that we can have a conversation at that higher level, to understand.
To really
exactly
understand what's going on.
What it is that are the plans that are there for them in their district, and then of course the region at large as well.
Right.
Well, whilst we try to get them on the line, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll delve into some more conversations. We've been joined on the line by Thomas Moore, who is the DCE of Central Tong. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we've been looking at Abutia Vopo, Abutia Agove electoral areas, the challenges that they're having there. Some of the communities ostensibly have no roads really, and the access route that they use when the river swells up, floods and swells up, then it cuts them off, and so on and so forth. Are you aware of these challenges? And if so, is there anything that the Assembly is doing, any plans that the Assembly has to try and ameliorate their challenges they're going through?
Oh, thank you very much, my brother. Let me first of all say very good morning to your service business. Then also share the sentiments of my good people of Central Tong, especially the people of Weda and Agone area. I will speak for Central Tong and then do some contribution of the overall situation. But before I say anything else, let me first of all answer your question. Number one is if Assembly has any plan for the people of the Central Tong district. I would say yes, we have plans. And we've been doing so many things in regards to their development and their roads. I can tell you for sure, at least twice every year, Central Tong District Assembly under my leadership do reshape that road from Agwe to Feda, our boundary
going to Home West. At least twice every year we do that.
Okay.
About health, I have personally commissioned or consulted and commissioned 2 chief compounds in that catchment area to actually ease that pressure or problem of affecting health facilities in the district. So that area could boast of 2 health centers, one at Agwe and one at Fada, in the same metro area or the same thing. That understanding, we still have problems or challenges on our roads. The place, as you see, is a very vast area with no line. In terms of height, it's very low. So some rivers or creeks flow through and widen their area during rainy season, especially. Though it's periodic, but we must help. So what assembly plans during this year and only part of next year is to do some spot improvements between Masikumasi and then Fada, which is my sensation. We are finding it very difficult to access suitable materials for the improvement intended to that of putting or constructing pipe covers along the road. So as we speak now, we are molding the covers elsewhere that later part, especially during the dry season, November, December, January, we could start transport these pipes to the various areas for the construction of covers at sections that are bad, that vehicles always get stuck, as you can see in some of your videos or pictures. So that's the plan Assembly is doing now, and the Assembly member of that area, Honorable Jerry Davo, is in support of that. Then we are also looking at taking away some undesirable materials on the road. The place is very clean and muddy. So we will have to cut some of the vegetative soil and then import materials that can help us fill up the approaches to the covers if they are done. So we have identified spots to enable us to fill the approaches. Those are some of the plans we have and things we are doing now to maybe get the roads improved upon by mid next year before the next major rainy season. We can only do that during the dry season.
Yes.
So while we are moving the covers against the period or to meet the time of the dry season, we are also looking for suitable materials to refill because we can't get in around the area. Then we have we have about 2 or 3 creeks or rivers along the line. We have one we call if I'm somewhere, and we have Baga and Akrapa. Akrapa is between Central Tongu and the Whole West. So myself and the Whole West met 2 times already to discuss on how we can improve on bridging Krapa, which is between Central Tongu and the Whole West. Honestly speaking, we are doing so because the people of Whole West in that section patronize facilities in Central Tongu more than Whole West. So the 2 of us must come together to bridge that Krapa River for them to access some facilities in the Central Tongu, that is hospital and our market and the schools and other things, secondary schools and other things. So the 2 of us met and we decided on constructing a cantilever bridge or do a beam coverage, or a bus coverage so that we can solve the problem. A bit of engineering may come in, but the way we need it as early as possible, we may be late if we should go along involving more engineering work and other things. So we want to do something that improvise something, some big sort of that can solve the problem in the interim. I think to be able to carry some load capacity that can carry load across the Crackpile Bridge. Then we come to the next river or creek, which is Baga, which is wider and deeper. So what we intend doing is to embark it from both sides. To narrow it to some extent that you can employ the use of a bus coverage or another